I don't think any of us really were prepared for the depths that we needed to go to in this film.
There's a strange kind of comfort in thinking you're the one in control.
Anything unusual occur?
That you're piecing the puzzle together, closing in on the truth, always one step ahead of the lies around you.
Define unusual.
Excuse me.
Shutter Island feeds on that illusion, not just for Teddy Daniels, but for the audience watching him. It gives you the rhythm of a detective film, a mystery to solve, suspects to interrogate, clues to decode.
Did you ever meet a patient named Andrew Latis?
But what Scorsese does so brilliantly is weaponize that structure. He lets Teddy believe he's hunting for answers, when in reality, every step forward is him tightening his own noose.
We got most of the Bugsies locked down now, but some of them are still loose.
From the first shot, there's tension in how Teddy moves. His posture is stiff, his eyes constantly scanning. His words clipped like he's fighting to keep the chaos in check.
Please stop talking.
Everything about him screams control, a man trying to manage his surroundings so he doesn't have to face what's inside him. He's a US Marshal, a figure of authority, a man of order, but that authority is hollow. The badge, the mission, even his partner.
Well, if it's just folks running around hearing voices and chasing after butterflies, they wouldn't need us.
All scaffolding built to hold up a collapsing mind. And what's tragic is that he doesn't know it. He believes he's on a righteous path.
By conducting experiments on the mind.
And you think that's going on here?
That justice and reason are still tools he can wield. The irony is that Teddy's authority gives his delusion structure. It's not random madness, it's methodical, procedural.
You don't have a partner, Marshal. You came here alone.
His trauma finds order through routine. He investigates, takes notes, builds theories. That's what makes him dangerous and sympathetic at the same time. He's trying to function through the language of logic. He's performing sanity with precision. And the more he tries to prove he's in control, the deeper he buries the evidence that he isn't.
Nothing comes to mind.
The further the investigation goes, the more obvious it becomes that his logic doesn't protect him, it isolates him.
Because they're gonna point to some event in your past and say it's the reason you lost your sanity.
Each new clue is actually a defense mechanism, a way to push reality further away.
Who are you?
Don't you recognize me, Andrew?
When he interrogates patients, when he studies files, when he argues with the doctors, what he's really doing is reinforcing the fantasy that he's the sane one in the room.
I'm Teddy Daniels.
You're the Marshal.
It's a portrait of a man using control as a shield, trying to make sense of chaos by turning it into a narrative he can dominate. There's a telling moment when Teddy questions the warden, who says, "If I was to sink my teeth into your eye right now, would you be able to stop me?"
Give it a try.
That's the spirit.
This quote depicts the heart of the film, the realization that control is an illusion people cling to until something stronger reminds them otherwise.
Your delusions are more severe than I thought.
That encounter flips the hierarchy. Teddy's the one being studied, not the other way around. He's no longer the investigator, but the subject.
And you do anything not to be him.
Scorsese keeps slipping that dynamic in quietly. Authority figures who seem to hold the answers, only to turn the mirror back on Teddy. It's psychological checkmate.
My name is Edward Daniels!
That illusion falls apart through the smallest cracks. The way he can't stop picturing his wife, the way his flashbacks distort time and memory. Every attempt to ground himself, smoking a cigarette, asking procedural questions, writing notes, ends with another reminder that he's not stable.
Oh, I forgot you're leaving, now that Rachel's been found.
And Scorsese plays that instability like music. The score swells at odd moments, the edits cut just a fraction too fast. The camera lingers too long on something that shouldn't matter. The entire film is built to feel like a man losing his grip, but pretending he isn't.
So sorry, baby.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays Teddy as someone constantly suppressing panic. You can see it in how he breathes, how his jaw tightens before he speaks.
Ed, I've had enough of killing.
He's acting human in a world that keeps bending. There's a quiet desperation in his performance that makes every decision feel like denial disguised as duty.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna blow the lid off this place.
When he insists on finding Andrew Latis, he's chasing a version of himself he can still control. The idea of a monstrous criminal gives him a place to pour his guilt into, something tangible to hate instead of himself.
He doesn't exist. Neither does Rachel Solano. I made them up. Because I can't take knowing that Dolores killed our children.
The war flashbacks reveal where that instinct began. Teddy tried to master his own trauma. He saw horrors that shattered the concept of control itself. Mass graves, executions, the smell of death so thick it clings to him years later. When you've seen humanity collapse like that, control becomes a religion.
I started doing some checking on Ashcliff. It's like they're scared of something.
You start believing that structure will save you. That's what Teddy's clinging on to. The ritual of control as penance for chaos he couldn't stop. The detective act isn't delusion at first, it's therapy.
How long you been with the Martians? 4 years?
But when the mind decides it can't heal, therapy becomes theater. What's remarkable is how Scorsese disguises that emotional truth behind genre conventions. Shutter Island looks like a detective thriller, but it behaves like a confessional. Every question Teddy asks is really one he can't face directly.
Think it's just random scribblings? We're gonna have to hold on to this.
When the doctor finally reveals that Teddy Daniels is Andrew Latus, and that the entire case was a role play to force him to confront reality, the illusion collapses completely.
It's a toy, Andrew.
You're the most dangerous patient we have.
But even then, he clings to control. He rejects the truth not because he doesn't believe it,
My name's Andrew Latus, and I murdered my wife in the spring.
but because accepting it would mean losing the last thing holding his identity together.
Told you not to come in here.
The truth means he's powerless, a man who failed to protect his wife,
Dolores told me she had an insect living inside her brain. She told me that, but I didn't listen.
who killed her, who can't undo any of it. So he chooses the fantasy again. He chooses to live life as Teddy Daniels because Teddy still has purpose. Teddy can still fix something.
Gotta get off this rock, Chuck. Get back to the mainland. Whatever the hell's going on here, it's bad.
There's something eerily human about that decision. Most people like to think they'd rather face the truth than live a lie.
The 67th patient at Ashcliff is you, Andrew.
But Shutter Island shows how self-deception can be a form of mercy. Teddy's illusion doesn't feel like cowardice. It feels like the final act of a man who's out of ways to survive himself.
Don't worry about it, they're not gonna catch us.
His decision to remain in the story he built is tragic, but it also makes sense. Sometimes the mind chooses comfort over clarity, even when it knows the cost.
Where's my partner, huh? Where's Chuck?
That decision isn't madness in the traditional sense. It's a survival instinct. Humans crave meaning even when it destroys them, and Teddy's delusion is his final act of order. When he walks away with that calm expression at the end,
Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?
it's surrender disguised as agency. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's choosing control in the only form he has left.
Teddy?
The power to choose his own erasure. What makes Shutter Island linger isn't the twist or the mystery. It's the tragedy of a man mistaking control for freedom. The entire film is an autopsy of that mindset. It shows how trauma rewires logic, how the need to stay composed can rot from the inside. The mind will do anything to protect itself, rewrite memories, create villains, invent missions, just to avoid confronting the unbearable.
Because I can't take knowing that Dolores killed our children.
Teddy's illusion of control isn't a weakness, it's the human condition amplified through grief. By the time the story ends, the island feels less like a place and more like a mirror. Every hallway, every locked door, every shadowy corner reflects another layer of denial. You realize that the whole investigation, the storms, the missing patient, the cryptic doctors, is just a stage built for one man's private reckoning.
He tried to help me when no one else would.
And the most chilling part isn't that he's trapped there, it's that he put himself there long before anyone else did. Scorsese's genius is in how he makes the viewer complicit. You want Teddy to be right, you want the mystery to make sense, you cling to the same illusion he does, that logic and strength can solve anything if you just push hard enough. So when the truth hits, it feels like your own denial cracking open too.
School's not in on Saturday.
My school is.
You were watching yourself realize how fragile control really is. In the end, Shutter Island isn't about madness or sanity. It's about the thin line between narrative and reality, how far someone will go to keep their story intact. Teddy Daniels spends the entire film trying to restore order, but order is what destroyed him. His investigation was never meant to solve a crime. It was a ritual, a desperate attempt to keep the illusion alive. And when that illusion finally dies, he goes with it. Not because he has to, but because it's the only kind of peace he understands.